Well, Manu, we finally made it to Kodai. We brought this amazing vehicle up all the way from Madurai,
Yep.
and it's been quite the journey. But we need to explore Kodai as well. So I thought that as we drive around the town, let's talk about our journey and let's talk about bringing an EV that's not supposed to do long trips out for a long trip.
Absolutely. I mean, it has been an interesting drive from Madurai up to Kodai, and it's taught us a lot about this car, and it's actually surprised me, frankly.
It is a surprising vehicle. But let's go and have a nice chat as we make our way around Kodai. All right, so you ready to do this?
Yes, I am. Get seatbelts on first.
So Manu, this is all about us doing a rather unique road trip with a pretty funky car. The fact that
We fit in here.
we're not sitting in each other's laps is a pretty good sign. But let's get this show on the road.
Yeah,
What do you say?
Cozy though.
It is. It's a four-seater and it's a micro EV that we have over here. And I think it's a pretty interesting looking car.
Yeah.
I mean, from the get-go, I really like the interiors actually. I mean, yes, it's a little narrow, but overall,
It is surprisingly spacious. I mean, you don't feel cramped. We're both, 6'2"?
6'2".
And, we get in here, we fit in actually quite nicely here.
and I think that that's a good sign. It's a very cute runabout. We have been driving it now for quite a few kilometers. I think
Yeah.
we've covered about 150 odd kilometers with this car so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from the get-go, let me just say that the MG Comet is not your long-distance runner. I don't think MG ever designed it for that. It is a brilliant city car. It's just that we're a little nuts and we just thought that we'd do something a little fun and head out on a nice long drive with it,
Yeah.
just to see what it does.
Yeah, but I think, we've gotten up here to Kodai as well. And, using it around town and, short distances and all of that, it's actually worked out quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, when you talk about the point about range,
Yeah.
MG claims that it's got about a 230 kilometer range
Yeah.
on a full charge.
Yeah.
In the hills, obviously, we've seen other EVs also drop their range substantially.
Correct.
And with the Comet, I think we've been getting about 130 to
Yeah,
140 on a single charge.
full charge, yeah.
Which is not bad at all. Because when you look at driving distances in Kodai, going around town,
Yeah.
even if using it as your daily runabout, you're doing about 10 to 12 kilometers a day.
Correct, and you're losing maybe 5%, 7% charge
That's
in a
about
full
it.
day worth of driving. So, I mean, we do have limited driving, but there is inclines, there's, terrain and everything to deal with as well.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad deal, man.
And speaking about terrain,
Yeah.
now that you've touched that subject, Kodai is also filled with bad roads.
It is.
And
It is.
we're talking about riding on really tiny 12-inch tires.
Yeah.
But I've not heard anything scrape underneath.
We haven't bottomed out even once. And we've had some terrible roads, and there are some nasty speed breakers in town as well.
That's true.
So we haven't bottomed out once, so I think that is a 2 thumbs up for this car to begin with in this little town.
I'm glad you got both your hands up without bumping me.
No, but I think in terms of the 12-inch tires, it's small, it's cute. I think it looks proportional. When you see the entire vehicle, it definitely turns a lot of eyes. A lot of people turn around and stare.
I think that's all we've been getting.
Yeah.
Everybody's just looking at two big guys
Yeah.
driving around in the smallest car that they've ever seen in this town.
Yeah.
The guy with the Alto is looking at us and saying, "Hey man, I've got a bigger car than you."
Yeah, pretty much.
But we've got a more powerful car than him.
Yeah, that I'm sure.
Yeah,
That I'm
because I mean, we're talking about what? It's got a 17.3 kilowatt hour battery,
sure. That's correct.
and it's churning out close to 42 horsepower, which is not bad at all.
Yeah. And on the highway, you got it up to what? You notched it up to about 105 kilometers an hour?
Yeah, so that's interesting because you've got 3 drive modes. So you got
Okay.
Eco, Normal, and Sport.
Okay.
And Eco, it limits the top speed to 80.
Okay.
And with Normal and Sport, you can get to a little above 100. I think it touches about 105. Well, that's about the top speed that this hits.
Okay.
And yeah, sorry about that. I was just looking at traffic. But
Was it scary when you got up to 105, or did it sort of hold?
Not at all. You know, it's actually a lot of fun. It's a very stable car. You would think that with such a small wheelbase,
Yeah.
right, that it would be a little unnerving
Sure.
in terms of stability. But even coming up the ghat, taking corners, driving around, you know, it's got that. It's very planted, and I think that has to do with the fact that it's got the battery pack way down low.
Okay.
So the center of gravity is really low.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about, you know, how it's going to really take a corner,
Why don't you
it
take
does
this,
it
roll
does
up
the
here?
job
Yeah.
really well.
Okay.
So going back to the fact that handling is spot on. It's got a really nice light steering.
Yeah.
And I think comfort is also something that comes into play when you're looking at overall drivability.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, that aside, that we're 6'2".
Yeah. And we fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I actually tried getting into the back seat as well.
Huh.
And my knees do touch the front seat. Okay, and that was sort of a given, getting into it. But at the same time, I have to say I wasn't uncomfortable. So being in there, short distances, it's a short runabout. If I had to get around the city, spend maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in the car, I could do it, even in the back seat.
That is impressive.
Yeah,
because,
it is.
looking at the car, I was thinking that this is more of a small car that's great for a young couple, stick the kids in the back, great for a city runabout.
Right.
We've obviously seen the reaction of friends and family
Yeah.
when it comes to this car.
Yeah.
And I think everybody just wants to get their hands on it.
They do.
I think kids think that they can drive it. That's how small and cute it looks. They look at it and it's like a toy.
Yeah.
So I think the appeal for the Comet is through the roof.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, okay, just to put it out there, from a price standpoint, the Comet is similarly priced to the Tata Tiago EV.
Right.
That is the closest competitor that the Comet gets.
Yeah.
But for me, the Tiago it's there. Okay, great. You get 4 doors, you get all of that, but it doesn't have that emotional appeal that a car like this gives you.
No, and I agree with that. I think there's two sort of buckets when we're taking a look at electric vehicles.
Yeah.
By and large. And this is something that you'll see as a trend across the country, across the world even. Where you have cars which are specifically built as EVs. They are designed so differently.
That's true.
And you get a car which used to be an ICE and has now been switched to an EV model.
Yeah.
You'll see that the interiors and all of those things are fit so differently. Now, I'll give you one example.
Yeah.
This has a flat floor over here.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's open.
Yeah.
And we've seen this with other EVs as well.
Correct.
Right? And you know that this is a very different sort of thought process going into building something like this from scratch.
That's true.
And that is something that you see very, very differently in this car versus, a Tiago EV or, some of the other products out there, where there's still a legacy of the ICE,
Yeah, I mean, it's not doing anything. It's just a Tiago, right? Okay,
Right.
great. It's got an electric motor now, but that's the only change.
Correct.
Over here, you're getting something that's quirky, that's different. The layout is so different.
Yeah.
The cabin, I mean, it's outstanding. Look at this screen.
Yeah.
Right? This dual screen setup is neat. You've got wireless Android Auto and CarPlay.
Yeah.
We've seen some luxury cars not give us that feature.
Correct.
Right? So it's great to see that. You've got dual airbags.
Yeah.
So, a lot of stuff has been ticked off with the Comet. It comes across as a quirk.
Yeah.
But having driven it now, having used it, the practical side of it is starting to show.
No, it is, and there's not a lot of. They've taken a lot of the bother about working with the car and everything. Simple things like the auto start stop. Okay, a lot of cars now they come with the start stop button.
Yeah.
Okay, the Comet EV in the plush model which we have over here has done away with that. You open the door
And
the
it's
car's on.
Yeah.
And
You lock it and it says goodbye. It says
And-
goodbye to you.
and it's such a neat feature.
Yeah.
Of what we can expect with future mobility.
That is true.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, and getting down to our drive here in Kodai.
Yeah.
We have been taking it out for a spin. And Kodai is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And I think I feel special also from the fact that we always talk about saving the planet. We talk about saving our little town,
Yeah.
cutting down on pollution over here.
Yeah.
It would just be so phenomenal if more people adopted a small car like this in this town. It's not expensive. We're talking about the Plush being at about 10 and a half lakhs. You got the Comet range starting from about 8.5 lakhs, right? This is like the perfect stepping stone to make that change and make a difference.
I definitely think it's a perfect stepping stone. I think it also has a lot to do with access and awareness.
Yeah.
And as people see, EVs sort of proliferating a lot more in rural areas, in the back of beyond.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're seeing their utility, they're seeing their ease of use.
Yeah.
It becomes something that gets them to move on in terms of making a decision as well. Like charging this vehicle, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay, it's such a simple thing. It's a Type 2 charger. It's a 15 amp plug point, and you can literally plug it in anywhere. Yeah, wherever your geyser goes in, wherever your
fridge goes in.
You got a 15 amp socket, you can plug this car right in.
And a lot of the houses in Kodai have 15 amp sockets outside because so many people were used to having that old gen set kind of setup.
Correct.
Right? Where you needed that plug point outside.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like it's ready made for a town like this in that sense.
Absolutely. And the thing is that, people don't have large driving distances. You come home, you plug your car in to the wall socket, and you got a full charge practically every day.
Yeah, I mean, if you bring it down to, if you drain it,
yeah.
And I'm talking about bring it to zero,
yeah.
Right? It takes 7 hours to top it up to 100%.
Yeah.
On a 15 amp charger.
Yeah. And we tried this yesterday.
And we tried it.
Yeah. So, and we got it up to the 100%, and like half a day, of driving, and we're down to what, 93%, 94%?
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's your Kodai mileage figure right there for you. So when people ask us, "Kitna deti hai?"
Yeah.
We love answering saying that, we're doing about 10% a day.
10% a day, yeah. And I think this is where we're going to see language changing as well.
So it's not about kilometers to the liter anymore. The liter is gone.
Yeah.
With a car like this, it's
a
percentage game.
Yeah.
And with terrain, you have to learn how to drive an EV. Use that recuperation, all of that stuff that comes in handy.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. I think our adventure of bringing it out to Kodai was something special. Like I said at the beginning, this is a car that's designed for the city, destined for the city.
Yeah.
But doing a total, 250, 300 kilometer road trip with it, back and forth from Madurai,
sure,
plus our local driving, is going to make this about a 300 kilometer road trip in a nice, small, little compact vehicle. We were able to drop the seats and get our bags in there when we had to. So that sense of practicality exists too.
It exists. A couple of things I'd like you to talk about since you've been doing a lot of driving. One is I see a whole bunch of these steering mounted controls. Your sort of view in terms of the LCD panel over here, your entire dashboard and everything. What's your sort of sense of this?
So to put it in the words of a friend who came and saw this car yesterday, he's like, "Oh my God, it's a spaceship, man." Okay. So I mean, the thing is that it's so simplistic that it looks futuristic.
It does.
Right?
Does.
Yeah. And it's got these elements that sort of remind you of tech. The plastic, the nice, neat, glossy plastic finish, on the sides near the AC vents.
Yeah.
You got this neat fabric up front, a really cute looking front console, and your polished chrome over here, a dual screen which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So you've got simplicity and tech just married to each other so well.
Yeah.
And I think that really wins you over with the way that this front console looks. You get steering mounted controls to get access to the infotainment system, all of that.
Okay.
So that's really easy. You've got voice commands as well. So there are a few commands you can give.
That is the internet
Comet.
inside.
Internet inside.
Sort of connectivity.
Going for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just been such a revelation to have this out here in Kodai. I think it turns enough heads. We're still getting enough heads looking at us. But just such a blast to have. And going back to the element of power, like I said, it's got 42 horses.
Correct.
On tap.
Yeah.
Which is more than enough to deal with the steepest of inclines here. Because you got 110 Newton meters of torque as well. And with an EV, I know we've said this to death, is that you get all that power and all that torque from the get-go. So it's not a build-up.
That's true. That's true.
You step on the gas and you get it. So dealing with any incline is brilliant.
And then overtaking and all of that is also a lot easier.
Everything is easier.
Yeah.
So I think from that point of view, it's done a brilliant job. Ground clearance is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's just been an absolute joy to surprise this town with this car.
Yeah. Just a couple of questions in terms of the design elements.
Sure.
Okay. One is, your thoughts on this sort of blacked out, glossy finish on the B pillar over here. I think it looks stunning, and that that window that you have for the rear passengers.
Yeah.
That vertical window. It's just such a different design element.
See, I think everything about the Comet is different.
Yeah.
When MG first teased us with the images of the Comet, I was like, you know what? These guys are going for a gimmick kind of play.
Correct.
But, the Comet came out. Sadly, we couldn't go for the review when it was out.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that our first drive with it is actually a rather unique road trip story.
Sure.
Just case in point, in case you're wondering, Manu and me are the first people to bring a Comet up to Kodai. We're also possibly the two biggest people to ever sit in a Comet and do an entire review. So yeah, we're hitting many firsts over here. But, talking about the design, I think from the minute you see it, it's got this quirky, young sort of appeal to it. Kids love it. They jump at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Adults are finding it. They're flocking to it. It makes everybody inquisitive. Good or bad. Few people disagree, but then design is design. That's how it's supposed to work. And I think that when it creates that much of a pull,
Yeah.
right, it's good.
Yeah.
Because it gets people interested. It gets people to come closer, to peek in. So they might not be won over by the overall design, and suddenly they see the dash and they're like, oh wow, what an interior, what space.
Correct.
So different, it evokes a lot of emotion.
It does. And I think every single person we've run into
Yeah,
has had a response.
that's it.
And that's what's really interesting, because you see a lot of cars out there and you're like,
Yeah.
it could be anything. But this, the MG Comet, evokes a response. And everybody notices it.
That is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And I think that we've evoked a lot of response in this town over the last couple of days. So I'm just going to stake claim to this as well. That any future MG Comet that makes it up to Kodai or is bought in Kodai is because of us.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. 100%.
That's just us.
Yeah. We're selling it.
We're selling it.
Yeah.
In fact, we should just open a QR code and start taking bookings for it.
We should. We'll put that up on our website right now. In terms of things that you wish, if there's a wish list and everything, what are things to add onto this? Things to change. I don't know.
See, for the segment that is designed for, I think when you're looking at an entry-level EV, making an EV accessible to a large population, right? And you got to understand that the target here is the city folk. Although it works brilliantly in a place like Kodai as well, which is what I really wanted to prove by bringing it here.
Correct.
Is that, it's not just limited to the city.
Right.
It's equally brilliant in a place like Kodai, where you are in the boonies, but you're not cut off.
Yeah.
And it just makes a lot of sense to have something like this here.
Correct.
Plus our roads are tiny.
No, our roads are tiny, and it sort of gets around everywhere. I mean, it's a 4.2 meter turning radius. I mean, that's tiny. So we can just sort of flip it around pretty much anywhere.
I suddenly feel Kodai is bigger after sitting in this car.
I feel the buses on the road are far bigger after sitting in this car.
Yeah, but going back to that fact that it is something that is designed for a very particular set for the market.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I think it tick marks everything.
Yeah.
It's I really can't find fault with it. You're looking at a micro EV that's a brilliant runabout. It's comfortable. It's got the right features.
Yeah.
Okay. It's got a level of practicality that I was really not expecting.
Yeah.
That an adult can sit in the back.
Correct.
Correct. That is a big thing. And you're talking about a short city haul.
Yeah.
Going from point A to point B. You can ferry your friends and family around in it easy. And if you do have a little bit of parcel work and you have to carry luggage around, just drop the seats and you can get quite a bit in there.
You can actually get a lot in there.
Yeah. So taking all of that into mind, you do have enough going for you when it comes as a practical little urban or limited use runabout.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, we've pushed that limit by taking in more than limited use.
More than limited use, yeah, yeah. And I did the Apple CarPlay with the system.
Yeah.
And it sort of paired right away. Getting the music, getting the calls, all of that. I noticed, there was, enough clarity with the calls. Sometimes you get very patchy.
That is actually a really good point, Manu, because the one thing that even I noticed was when I was driving it in from Madurai.
Yeah.
You know me, I love my loud music.
Yeah.
So I paired my phone, and when I got going with the music, I was really surprised at the sound quality that you get.
Yeah.
It's
a small system.
I thought it was going to be a teeny tiny system, but
Correct.
no, it's really nice. You can have your music turning out. You can really, enjoy it.
No, you can definitely enjoy it, and just everything is very clear. I mean, we were pairing, doing a couple of phone calls just to see what the quality was like.
Yeah.
And even that is extremely clear. There's no static. There's none of that.
Correct.
Happening over there as well. So I think these are a lot of things that MG has, done exceptionally well. And they've brought it through their entire range. We see it in their larger products. We see it in this product as well.
Yeah.
That sense of style, that sense of commitment to quality, has not depreciated as, we've gotten to a micro EV sort of space.
That's right.
Yeah.
So bottom line, Manu, let's get down to the bottom line of what you think of the MG Comet in a place like Kodai.
See, I think it's a very practical runabout. If I had to get one in this town, and I'm a big guy, I think I would still get one. To run about over here in Kodai. It's easy to take out. It's easy to maneuver on these roads. We've got a lot of tiny roads. We've got congested parking. So I think for a lot of things it ticks it off, and I'd love to get one of these over here.
That's true.
Yeah.
For me, I think the bottom line is that it's won me over as being a rather practical vehicle to have.
Yeah.
Everywhere that we've gone, everywhere that we've seen, every person that we've met, we've actually been able to convince them of this fact.
Yeah.
Right? And the questions that we've gotten from these people have also been about practicality. I think it wins them over with this quirkiness.
No, I think what wins them over is the fact that we actually brought it from Madurai all the way to Kodai.
That is true.
Okay.
So that is testament enough for them to say that, hey, look,
yeah,
here's this car that's come all the way.
Yeah. And then you show them a charging port.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, you can charge this at home. And it suddenly takes the fear away from owning something like this.
Yeah.
In a place like Kodai.
And that is the bottom line, that the fear is gone.
Yeah.
It's perfect for an environment even like Kodai.
Yeah.
Brilliant for the city. I mean, that goes without saying. I think taking it out here proves that point too.
It does. It does. And the city is a much easier environment than what we have over here.
Yeah.
So
I'd get one.
Yeah. I think
I'd get one, but I think your son would try and steal it from me.
I think there'd be enough people trying to steal it.
Well, on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. We've been having a lot of fun driving the Comet around Kodai. We're going to keep doing so for the next couple of days as well. But if you do have a question about the Comet, you've got something to say, and we've not answered it in this discussion. If Manu or me missed something or skipped a beat, and you want to know more, feel free to reach out. That's a promise we make to everybody who watches our Motorscribes channel, that write in, leave a comment behind, leave a question, and we do get back to you. That's our promise to you, and we answer every question that comes in on the Motorscribes channel.
Absolutely. So remember to subscribe, remember to like, and one last little tidbit I'd like to leave you with. The MG Comet looks stunning at